Welcome to the FB podcast, where we dissect every hot detail of the transfer market. Guys, Manchester United's 2024 summer transfer market has officially exploded. Right now, if you are a Red Devils fan, prepare yourself, because what is happening at Old Trafford is not just a simple shopping, but a real revolution. We have just welcomed a Blockbuster and are preparing to welcome 2-3 more Blockbusters in just the next few days. But what is even crazier is that the Red Devils' 4 main strikers are being pushed out without regret. Is this a ruthless purge or a genius move by INEOS to pave the way for a new era? And what will happen to Casemiro, a living legend of Real Madrid when he was at the peak of his form at the end of last season? It's all in today's FB podcast, and I'm sure you won't be able to take your eyes off this hot information. That's right, while their neighbor Man City has completed 2 quality deals to add personnel, INEOS will not disappoint our fans. They have successfully recruited Matthus Caha and are preparing for 2 more extremely high quality contracts to upgrade the team's attack. According to the latest information, the goal that the Red Devils leaders are aiming for has not stopped here, because before Ruben Amorim and his team gather to prepare for the new season, Manchester United will stir up the summer market with deals to upgrade the current 4. Right now, let's dive into each notable update on the club's transfer situation in recent days, especially the developments regarding the future of Casemiro, the 2 Blockbusters that are landing, and the liquidation of key strikers. First, let's talk about the hottest name, Brian Embimo. This deal is gradually coming to an end, and in recent days, the story of this Cameroonian striker has attracted a lot of attention. A series of reputable journalists have confirmed that Brian Embimo has agreed to move to Old Trafford instead of clubs with tickets to participate in the UEFA Champions League. The reason given is because this striker, born in 1999, is completely satisfied with the plan proposed by INEOS, and in which he is one of the extremely important factors in the comprehensive reconstruction of the club. According to updates from journalists in the foggy country, Manchester United made the first offer worth £45 million with £10 million in additional fees, but Brentford immediately refused. The London representative assessed that the star, who scored 20 goals last season, must be on par with Matthus Caha, so perhaps £60 million will be the number they want. Although journalist James Docker has denied that INEOS has made a second offer, according to the #1 author Simon Stone, Brian Embimo's arrival at the Theatre of Dreams is only a matter of time when the club's top brass is confident in convincing the Bees. Experts predict that 50 million plus 10 million in additional fees is easy to achieve, or 55 million plus 10 million is the condition to close this deal. Personally, I think that Brian Embimo's talent has been confirmed over the past few seasons, and he is considered very suitable for coach Ruben Amorim's system. This will be the basis for the Portuguese strategist to perfect the playing style in order to improve the team's performance. It is expected that this deal will be completed next week and will most likely be Manchester United's second signing this summer, but that's not all for the attack. After completing the Brian Embimo deal, the Red Devils' top target is a true striker, where Rasmus Højlund and Chai both failed to meet the requirements last season. A series of targets have been mentioned in the press, but recently journalist Ben Jacobs shared surprising information. Victor Gueresz has agreed to join the Theatre of Dreams, despite the fact that Manchester United will not be able to participate in the UEFA Champions League next season. This is really a surprising deal, because the Swedish striker has been linked with Arsenal a lot in the past, and his priority is still to compete in the European Cup 1. However, perhaps old friends will come back without being invited, when his old teacher Ruben Amorim once hinted about his desire to reunite with the student he brought from Coventry City. Personally, I believe that Gyökeres's decision to skip the Champions League to join United shows great faith in INEOS and Amorim's project, and he would be the perfect fit for the #9 position we crave. So what about Rasmus Højlund's future? Inter Milan are determined to sign the 22-year-old. The European runners-up last season planned to loan him with an option to buy, but INEOS want to sell him outright for 35 to 40 million, a figure that would be enough for the club to report a profit on the deal. If they can sell the Danish player, the Old Trafford team will have a new #9 to complete the attack before considering the next positions. It is true that Victor Gueresz is considered the most potential deal at the moment, but if things do not go as expected, Manchester United still have a few other targets, such as Jonathan David or Mateta of Crystal Palace. In short, upgrading the attack will be the #1 priority of the Red Devils in this summer transfer window, and they are doing quite well with the recently completed Matthus Caha deal and the upcoming Brian Embimo. A new number 9 is set to arrive at the Theatre of Dreams, and it is expected to be Sporting Lisbon's Victor Gueresz, in order to have money to shop and also to clean up the squad in parallel with recruiting new players. The process of purifying the force is also an important factor that the club's upper management aims for, not only bringing in more money to supplement personnel, but also helping coach Ruben Amorim stabilize the dressing room and eliminate players who are not suitable for the system and have had substandard attitudes during the past time. According to the list published by the British press, up to 4 strikers are likely to have to leave the team in this summer's transfer market: Ansony, Jayden Sancho, Marcus Rashford, and Alejandro Ganacho. These are cases where the Red Devils want to sell outright instead of opening the door to a loan deal like the plan they did in January. In addition, Tal Malacia, who had an unimpressive performance during his loan at PSV Eindhoven, is also likely to leave. Thus, INEOS's priority will be on the 4 strikers Ansony, Jayden Sancho, Marcus Rashford, and Alejandro Ganacho, names that have brought disappointment as well as not being suitable for the system that the coach born in 1985 is building. Although this liquidation process will not be easy to carry out, INEOS seems to have a specific plan to help purify the current force at the same time as a warning for the remaining players in the squad to try their best if they want to continue staying at the Theatre of Dreams. Personally, I think this is a tough but necessary move. We cannot keep players who are not dedicated or do not have a good attitude. And finally, one of the most interesting stories: Casemiro's future. The Brazilian midfielder has had a very impressive end to the season and was recalled to the national team for the match against Ecuador. This is a well-deserved reward for Casemiro and shows his determination to regain his form and continue at Old Trafford next season. He has only 1 year left on his contract, which he signed with the club nearly 3 years ago. However, the 33-year-old's efforts cannot hide the fact that he is past his peak and that maintaining his fitness is very difficult. Moreover, Casemiro is also one of the highest paid players at the club, earning £300,000 a week. Therefore, selling the Brazilian player will free up a significant wage fund this summer to add new players to strengthen the squad for coach Ruben Amorim. Some information in England said that the former Real Madrid star is looking to negotiate with INEOS to reduce his salary in the hope of staying at the Theatre of Dream. The Portuguese strategist also hopes that the experience of the number 18 will help the younger players to mature before replacing his role in the future. Personally, I think that although Casemiro really wants to stay and coach Amorim also appreciates his experience, but with the huge salary and long-term strategy of INEOS, his departure to free up the wage fund is a very likely scenario unless he accepts an extremely deep salary reduction to match the club's reconstruction vision. INEOS will have to make a difficult decision to resolve each case in order to aim for a more positive new season for the club. Although the attack is the number 1 priority and is being upgraded very well with Matthus Caha and soon Brian Embimo, INEOS will not ignore the opportunity to recruit new players for other positions. Currently, the central midfielder and goalkeeper are the places that have shown instability for a long time. Andre Onana continuously makes silly mistakes, while the midfield cannot escape the pressing or deploy the ball effectively. Therefore, many fans are asking Manchester United to add strength in this position. In addition to the goalkeeper and central midfielder, wingback will also be included in the transfer list if conditions permit. Patrick Dogu, Diogo Dalot, Nusum Masraoui all have their own instability and have not been able to fully meet the expectations of the 40-year-old coach. In general, any position shows instability, and it is difficult to be assured for the long journey ahead. Everything still depends on the process of purifying the force to supplement funds, but identifying the target is also a way to help the club be more proactive in negotiating to quickly complete the deal like they did with Matthus Caha or Brian Embimo. So you see, Manchester United are undergoing a dramatic transformation under INEOS. From the signing of big names like Matthus Caha and soon Brian Embimo to the hunt for a world-class number 9 like Victor Gueresz, and it is impossible not to mention the fierce but necessary liquidation of the force, especially the pushing of 4 key strikers and the dramatic story of Casemiro. Personally, I believe that this is the clearest signal of a new era at Old Trafford where there is no room for weakness or unprofessionalism. INEOS is showing that they are really serious about building a quality squad in line with Ruben Amorim's philosophy and ready to compete for major title. Everything is still happening very quickly, and we are sure there will be many more surprises between now and the end of the transfer window. Let's wait and see how the final pieces will come together at the Theatre of Dreams. What do you think of United's transfer moves? Who would you like to see at Old Trafford? Leave a comment below, share your views, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the FB podcast channel so you don't miss any hot news. See you in the next podcast.